Good morning, students. Today we'll continue from whatever we have left in the previous class. Today we'll be discussing firstly, about the difference between being healthy and being disease free. Now you can see in the slide, I have chalked out the differences between them. Now, being healthy it is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being. I repeat again, being healthy is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being, as we have discussed in the previous class. Health defines, when we defined health, we have seen that it is not only the physical health, but the social and mental health also matters. But when you talk about disease-free, being disease-free, that means any disease is not there in the body. Absence of a particular disease from the body. But being healthy is a state of physical, mental, and social well-being of a particular person. Whereas being disease-free is absence of a particular disease from the body. Secondly, when we talk about being healthy, we talk about the individual, we talk about the physical environment of the person, we talk about the social environment of the person. That has an impact on the health. And when we talk about disease-free, now there is no concept of social environment in disease-free. That is located inside the human body. So that being disease-free refers to the individual only and does not relate anything to the social environment of the person. It is only related to that particular organism, that particular body. Social environment has no role to play there. Talking about the third difference, if a person is healthy, that means he or she has good health. If a person is healthy, that means he or she has good health. Everybody knows that. But when I say that a person is disease free, that person may have good health, may not have good health. But if that person does not have good health, at least he or she is not attacked by any disease, or any disease causing microorganism is not present in their body. So a person who is disease free may have a good health, may not have a good health, but still that person can be called a diseased free person. So I hope you have understood the difference between being healthy and disease free, because healthy refers to many other factors also, but being disease free refers to the individual in particular. Now we'll go to the next slide, in which we will see about two things. One is called as symptoms, the other is called as signs. S-I-G-N-S, signs. So like whenever we go to the doctor checks us and tells that what are the symptoms you can see in your body. General symptoms like whenever you are not well, there might be fever, there might be loose motion, there might be headache, there might be vomiting sensation. So these are some general factors and these are called as symptoms. They are not particular for a disease, they are in general. So those are called as symptoms, which you and I can also detect. Symptoms a layman can detect, you can detect, I can detect fever, headache, nausea, vomiting tendency. Everyone can detect that. Everyone can identify that. Doctor will ask you while you go to the doctor for the first time, doctor will ask you what are the symptoms you can see in your body. You will say, I have fever for the last 5 days or vomiting for the last 2 days, whatever it is. So those are called as symptoms. So symptoms are general in nature. But when you talk about signs, S-I-G-N-S, signs. Signs are particular for a particular disease. So that means What sign you will get for malaria, that sign you may not get for typhoid. That sign you may not get for tuberculosis. That sign you may not get for common cold. So signs are different for different types of disease, but symptoms are more or less common. And symptoms you and I can identify, but the signs can only identified by a proper physician, by a proper doctor. So that is what I have written here. On the basis of symptoms, the doctor will say what are the signs of a particular disease. Moreover, as you know, doctors these days conduct tests, different tests based upon the symptoms. Different tests will be given to you, and based upon these tests, the doctor will say that these are the signs and you have this particular disease. So symptoms appear before signs, signs appear later. Please remember, symptoms appear first and signs appear later. So this is about the general idea about signs and symptoms. Now we'll go to the different types of diseases. The first type of disease is called acute diseases. Now acute diseases are those diseases which last for a very short period of time in your body. They will not be there in your body for a very long time. They will last for a short time, and since they last for a short time, so they will not cause much harm to your body. Like common cold. Common cold, you and I, we have like throughout the year, I think twice or thrice we have common cold. We have cough. We have another disease called as cholera, which is also a acute disease. Typhoid is a acute disease. So these diseases, they are present in the body for a very short period of time, and they do not harm the body since they stay for a short period of time in the body. So that point you must remember, that they stay for a short period of time and they do not harm the human body as such. Examples, along with examples, please remember it. Next you have another category of disease called as the chronic disease. Chronic, the term chronic means for a long period of time. So chronic diseases, they are the disease which lasts for a very long period of time, and since it will last for a longer period of time, it will cause a great damage to your body, great damage to the health of your system. So chronic diseases are more dangerous, like you have tuberculosis, that is a chronic disease. Cancer, it is a chronic disease, as you know it is fatal. A person has very less chances of living with cancer. Arthritis, it is also a chronic disease. It finishes off the immunity of the body. So these are some of the examples of chronic diseases. They stay for a longer period of time in your body and harm your body in return. Now I'll show you some pictures. You can see here, this is a microorganism which causes typhoid. The microorganism is called as Salmonella typhi. This microorganism causes typhoid, and this microorganism it gets transferred from one place to another. You can see with the help of open food and open water like things. You can see here the surface is open, the water is left open. So any microorganism can come and make its home there easily. So that is why we say that we should not eat uncovered food, or we should not eat street foods outside which are not properly handled. So you can see microorganism easily finds its place in an uncovered food particle. You can see here when typhoid occurs in the body, or when typhoid attacks your body, there is loss of appetite. You don't feel hungry, fever, nausea. Nausea is like your head will have a tingling sensation along with sensation of vomiting, that is nausea. Again, diarrhea may happen, abdominal cramps, that is stomach pain, vomiting finally. So these are the symptoms of being affected by typhoid. Though this is a acute disease, this is not a chronic disease. Once you take proper measures, once you eat proper diet, you will again recover from this disease. So this is how typhoid occurs. You can see the picture on the left hand side. This is common cold. Common cold is also a viral disease, though it is a viral disease, but it is a acute disease, does not last in the human body for a long time. So this is a viral type of disease. Again, the chronic disease, one example of chronic disease I'll show you on the right hand side, it is tuberculosis. This is example of acute disease. Please remember, common cold is an example of acute disease. Tuberculosis is an example of chronic disease. So tuberculosis generally spreads from one person to another person through cough droplets. When you cough or sneeze, the droplets are inhaled by the nearby persons and organisms might get transferred from an infected person to a healthy person. So by this way, you can see that tuberculosis can take place, and finally what happens, the tuberculosis affects the lungs, it affects the respiratory system of the body. So this is an example of chronic disease. One more example of chronic disease I would like to emphasize here is elephantiasis. Elephantiasis is a chronic disease and a very deadly disease. You can see here. Here the lower part of the body is seriously affected, and you can see enlargement of the lower part of the body. This is a chronic disease. It will not be healed up very soon, and in some cases death is almost certain. So this is the case of elephantiasis. It is a chronic disease, and the lower limb of a person is affected. Next we'll go to two more categories of disease, which are called as infectious diseases and non-infectious diseases. When you talk about infectious diseases, that means they are communicable, spread from an infected person to a healthy person. So those are called as infectious diseases or communicable diseases. Like if you talk about common cold, that is an infectious disease, it is a communicable disease. Like chickenpox, this is a communicable disease. It is transferred from an infected person to a healthy person by contact with air, by contact through water, by contact through belongings, physical contact. By these mode of transmission, these diseases can be spread from one person to another. Even by sexual contact, it can spread from one person to another, from an infected person correctly to the another healthy person maybe. So there are some diseases like cholera, tuberculosis, even mumps, chickenpox. They are all spread by contact from one person to another person. Next you have non-infectious diseases. Non-infectious diseases are called as non-communicable diseases. They are not spread from one person to another by physical contact or by any other contact. So they will not be spread from one person to another person. Those are called as non-infectious diseases. Like if you see cancer, if you sit with a cancer patient, if you live with a cancer patient, you will not have cancer. If you live with a patient having high blood pressure, you will not develop high blood pressure. If you live with a patient having arthritis, you will not develop arthritis. So these are those diseases which do not spread from an infected person to a healthy person. So these are those category of diseases. I think I have given some examples here about night blindness, cancer, beriberi, rickets. Beriberi, rickets, night blindness, I think you have studied about these diseases in your lower classes also. They are deficiency diseases, vitamin deficiency diseases. So they may occur to any person, but if you live with that person, stay with that person, you will not have that disease. So those are the non-communicable diseases.